everybody. Welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners, and I'm joined, as always, by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. Emily Grace Deal, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about rest.
Our favorite subject.
It is. But needing to rest doesn't always seem to motivate us to actually rest, right?
Right.
What do we need to embrace in order to prioritize rest for ourselves?
Rest is interesting because we all are designed to need rest.
Mm-hmm. And we know we need rest.
We know we need. We can
that.
logically acknowledge it, but the reality is, as we're diving into writing a book about burnout, we did a little bit of research, right? Mm-hmm. And the answers we got back from people are heartbreaking. So many were around this idea that rest has to be earned, mm-hmm. that they don't need rest, they have to earn rest. And how do you earn it? Well, that's crazy, right? Like, how many tasks do you have to check before you can rest?
Right. It's always a future destination. Like, it's always going to get
right?
there.
It's this moving goalpost, and we're never going to get there. And the reality is we need to rest. And if we don't, things go badly for us. Yeah. We talk all the time about how we have intentional rest and unintentional rest. Unintentional rest involves hospital stays. Mm-hmm. Your body is eventually going to force you to rest. Yeah. You don't have a choice. Intentional rest is far more fun. It's actually enjoyable. We all
think that that's not going to happen to me. That happens to other people that don't rest.
Absolutely. It's amazing. Okay, so sidebar, having teenagers and having raised them successfully, they're all out of the house. I was amazed how often we'd say, hey, be careful doing this thing. And the thought of a teenager is that will never happen to me. They live their lives based on that will never happen to me.
Yeah.
We think we get over it. We don't. We as adults still function in the same way of, no, I can just do whatever I want. Yeah, that applies to you. That doesn't apply to me. It's never going to happen to me.
Right.
And we run around and find out nobody's resting. We have this deep need to be productive, and we're taught some lies growing up. You know, one of those is that we need to earn rest. One of them is that rest is not productive. And so we have this weird need to be productive, and yet we're taught that rest is not productive. So it doesn't fall into that category.
Right.
And the reality is it's one of the most productive things we can do. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to really embrace. And the reality is this comes down to like stories. This comes down to spotting disempowered stories, because the story of I need to earn rest or rest is not productive. Mm-hmm. Anytime there's a disempowered story, it either relieves us of responsibility or makes us feel superior.
Right.
And if the story is rest is not productive, I am now relieved of responsibility of ever having to focus on rest and be intentional about it.
Right, because I'm a productive person.
I'm a productive person, which, by the way, makes us feel superior to other people. Yes. Look at those people resting. Look at those lazy bums taking their vacations and having family time. I'm better
How
than
nice
them.
for them. Yeah.
Must be nice. I am so important. I don't have space on my calendar for that.
I think it's important, a moment of vulnerability, to point out that both of us also have to work to rest. It's not like we have some magic key that's we say this on a podcast, so now we're perfect resters.
It is 100% work.
Yeah.
But how we've gotten there, I think, is the next piece of it is ultimately we have to rewrite that story.
Right.
And we have to rewrite the story in a way that acknowledges that rest is highly productive and that we have to have a purpose behind it. We need a reason to rest, because our reason to be productive, we can point to a lot of whys, right? We can point to our family. We got to provide. We got to advance in our career. We've got to do the good we do through our work.
Someone asked me and I'm helping them.
Someone asked me and I'm helping. Absolutely. We have all these reasons to be productive. We struggle to find reasons to rest. Mm-hmm. But the reality is we have to rewrite that and say, who am I resting for?
Right.
Rest is for me, but as a leader, because I lead my family and I lead in this realm, I lead a lot of our clients, I lead a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm resting for y'all. I'm resting for them. I'm resting for others. So while it is for me, that's benefit,
sometimes harder to get to.
It's hard, but that benefit magnifies that. Let's look at a practical example. So let's say I don't rest. So this has been a very intense week. We've had 4 full days of events. And so for me, when I say events, what it looks like for us is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., I'm talking to people. Mm-hmm. That's so much work. If I don't take this weekend to rest, how am I going to walk in the door Monday when we all get together to work?
Yeah.
I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be cranky. I'm going to be frustrated. I'm going to be a little irritated about things. what good is going to come from that?
Right. And it could so easily be, oh, I'm going to get a jump on next week since this week was hard and I'm going to work some on the weekend and then I'm going to, have a better start. But there's always, it doesn't matter how much you get done on the weekend. There's still the same amount on Monday.
Absolutely. You still have stuff to do. And it creates a version of us when we don't rest that is less productive. Mm-hmm. That version of us is less efficient, is less creative, is less empathetic, is less graceful, has less ability to genuinely lead in a healthy way. Mm-hmm. A practical example for me, that's how that works. Practical example for you. If you don't rest, how does that go with the kids?
And not well.
Because your kids are in a season where they're what, 6 and 4? 6 and 4. When you got a 6-year-old,
I normally say a 4 and 6, so you threw me off.
When you got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and you are not rested, you're tired, you're frustrated, you're a little angry, you're almost looking for a fight.
Yeah.
That does not go.
I might be able to pull it off when I get to work, but I cannot. Like, my fuse with tiny humans is very short.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that the reality is that's all of us.
Yeah.
We can lengthen that fuse. We can get the rest we need. We can intentionally do it and understand it matters. And I think that question of who am I resting for is actually really helpful. Right. I'm resting for my wife and our relationship. I'm resting for this team and the good we're going to do. I'm resting for my clients. And that why, that purpose underneath it really matters.
Right. Well, because I do think once you can kind of convince yourself, oh, I can put that mask on or whatever to get to work and I am totally good once I'm there. Sure, I have empathy and grace.
Yes.
Maybe less than you actually realize, but you think that you can kind of fake it.
Yeah.
But then you get home and you're comfortable there and those are people that love you. Yes. So you're like, oh, I don't have to have patience here. I did it all day at work. I don't. And so I think it's that piece where you're like, rest helps with all of it. And especially when you're at home and you need it a little extra.
The other side too, though, is we're not great at hiding. Mm-hmm. We think we are. We think we're so good at hiding our emotions and how we're doing it. And even today, walking in the store this morning, I told you, for whatever reason, I got out of my car to walk in here and record. I was just in a bad mood. Like, I was irritated about everything around me. It did not matter what it was. It was irritating me.
Yeah.
And I had to stop and go, wait, why is that? Okay, well, it is that way because we've had an intense week. And I've got this long day of recording in front of me. And then I got a long day for a retreat tomorrow. And I just know it's going to be a lot. And I was feeling the weight of that.
Yeah.
And so I had this moment to pause and say, okay, I can walk in there tired and stressed and exhausted, but this is not going to go well. Mm-hmm. The recordings won't go well. Our interactions won't go well. All the emails that are coming in that we're having to deal with over here would not go well. Like all the things happening wouldn't work as well. And so I had to stop and do the mindset work, to stop and rewrite that story. Mm-hmm. And it really matters to be able to spot how we're doing. And so we need a deeper purpose to enable us to rest. If we don't have a deeper reason to do it, if it's just us, we won't do it.
Right.
We have proven that over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot that goes into rest, but that is one of the keys. You've got to have that deeper purpose. We've got to have something driving us.
Yes. Find what works for you and do that.
Yeah. Leaders, let's talk next steps. We talk about rest a lot because I know you suck at it. Like no shame at all. Like we all suck at it in so many ways. And so we ultimately have to spot, are we living in a disempowered story? Are we living in the story that rest is not productive? Are we living in the story that rest has to be earned? Because those stories will keep you trapped in a loop where you will never rest. You will never find the time, because the reality is you do have the time. You will never see it when those are the stories. When you rewrite that story that rest is productive, that rest for others has a massive impact, you are now going to have a reason to do it. You're going to have a purpose behind it. And it is about service to others. And that matters deeply. And so rewrite that story. Start to spot in your life when you have the opportunity to rest, what resistance comes up, what stories in your head start to generate and come out about rest when you have that opportunity. That's your chance to rewrite it and find that deeper purpose and ask the question, who am I resting for? All right, if people want to send us questions, if they want to send us emails that say, I don't need rest, you're wrong, where do they send that to?
To lab@forwardpartners.net.
Lab@forwardpartners.net. If people want to find us online, we are producing a ton of really great leadership content. We say that with all humility. It is really great leadership content to just give away and to help people. Where do they find that?
@ForwardPartner.
@ForwardPartner on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Yep. Thank you so much for doing this, Emily. Thanks for hosting with me. John, Porchlight Productions Vineyard, thank you for producing. Emily, other Emily, I should really get that locked in. I don't have it locked in. Emily, thanks for bringing the vibes. We deeply appreciate you. And we love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Share this with fellow leaders that need some rest. Help them find a purpose that is deeper, that is about somebody else that will enable them to rest. We'll see you next time right here in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.